My name is Sandra Santiago. For the past 10 years, I've been searching for beautiful locations to visit. I fell in love with California and all it has to offer. Food, culture, wine, and this is my channel. It's Sandra. Today's guest is an Emmy-winning, Oscar-nominated producer who co-founded Initial Entertainment Group with Graham King in 1995. She has now formed her new production company, Cindy Cowan Entertainment. Cindy is also a humanitarian who has contributed and helped several non-profit organizations like Little Kids Rock, an organization that provides free instruments and lessons to underserved public schools, and other non-profit organizations. Oh, hi, Cindy.
All dressed up and cute and good.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for being here with me on my YouTube channel.
Are you doing good?
Yes.
How's COVID been for you?
It's been good, I'm creating and learning. There is so much to learn about like lightings and cameras.
Yeah. Right. And you guys are still in California, right?
Yes.
Good. Half of my friends are gone. Most of my friends have gotten out of here. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
I've lost friends. And now everybody on my street is moving. Everybody. And there's no one left. It's just bizarre.
But you're still here in LA?
I am still here. I'm debating about being bi-coastal and spending more time in Florida. I haven't decided yet. Mm-hmm. We're really busy, so whatever I do won't be too quick, but I might at some point spend like half my time in Florida. It's where I'm from. I kind of miss it down there. I went home for about a month and just went, what am I doing? Just scary. Plus, we don't have to be in offices anymore. Everything's by Zoom.
Yes. And which part in Florida?
Miami. That's where I'm from.
Oh, there you go. So you dance salsa.
Where I'm from. So let me get these black pillows out of the way so they don't look too weird.
Well, Cindy, it's an honor to have you here and share your story. I admire you so much.
And, Thank you. And I'm glad you're doing good. Whatever happened with that short you guys did? Did it do well?
I'm on. We are reviewing the script, and it's a feature. It's a feature we try to do. Yes.
Good.
So yes. And so I want to start from the beginning. How you started in this business as a producer and as a writer for CBS.
I got into this business not the normal way. I did not go to film school and everything. I graduated with a degree in psychology, and I took that infamous year off that some of us do and should never do if you plan on going forward in your business. But I was dating somebody in the music business, and I wanted to take a year off before continuing graduate school, and I needed a night job because he was a singer. So I researched night jobs, and the best one I could find was working for a news affiliate, for a CBS News affiliate, which, and working in the late night news. And so in Miami, I got a job, started at the bottom, kept getting promoted, and stayed there until there was a story that was very traumatic that I didn't want to help cover, which was a little boy named Adam Walsh. There was movies and stuff written about him. He was a little boy that got decapitated in Florida when he was kidnapped from Sears department store. His father went on and started America's Most Wanted. And that was the last story that I was ever going to do at CBS. I just realized news wasn't for me. It was at that time, especially, it was all about, just horrific news stories that were breaking at the time.
Yeah.
So I got out, and I was working for my father for a bit when somebody came and said, could I write lyrics to music? And I was like, no. And that you write copy so quickly for news, do you think you could try? And I tried. And I had taken my junior year abroad in London, and I sent what I thought was just something very goofy to the only man that I knew in London that was in the music business. And he called me a couple of weeks later and he said, do you have a publishing company? And I was like, no. And he said, I need a publishing company. And do you have a second song? And I was like, no. And he said, well, you need to write one quickly. And so I did. And that song ended up going to an artist named Sunita. And that album went top 10 all throughout Europe. And I became a BMI songwriter.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. And then I came out to LA and started writing for a man named Engelbert Humperdinck. And then I wrote for a guy named Howard Hewitt. And after I was in LA for a bit, I just thought people in music were so much more talented than me. They all sung beautifully and they could play all these instruments. And so I started learning about the film business, and I went to work for a company. I was in their acquisitions department and then kind of graduated into the production department. And then I met my partner at that same company named Graham King, and we started our own film company.
Yes, I read a lot about you both, creating wonderful art and leaving a legacy here in Hollywood. Wow, what a beautiful life. And talking about COVID, how does it affect you in your production, also in your personal life?
COVID's been interesting because all my production stopped. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to be shooting 2 very big movies last year, and I prepped one of them in 3 countries. We started in England at the beginning of COVID, and then the borders closed, and then they quickly moved us to South Africa, and then COVID's numbers started rising in South Africa, and then we tried to pivot and go to Thailand, and it was wrong. We were just trying to beat COVID, but the realities are my movie takes place in Chicago in the winter, and it's based on a true story. So we were trying to figure out how we were going to shoot this in Thailand. The realities are we couldn't. And so that and another one of my projects stopped. Studios started saying, most of the movies were stopping and starting, getting shut down and starting again, and they weren't willing to take the chance. So we stopped totally. And today was my first production call about picking back up in fall.
Yay!
Bulgaria. Now we're going to Bulgaria, so I've been all around the world and we haven't started yet. So it's been challenging, like everybody. I can't complain though, because I can put food on my plate, and I've got a house to live in, and so it's made me grateful for everything. I think one thing COVID has made you, or hopefully made people realize, is to be very grateful for everything that we've got. And then I don't know about you, but I used to be somebody that was always out. I run charities, and I'm always out doing all different things, whether it's producing or running charities or speaking or doing whatever. And all of a sudden I went in, and I didn't leave my house for probably 8 months. I think I left 4 times. And I think the interesting thing is, I don't really want to leave that much anymore. I think what's changed in me is I'm happy to go out, but I'm even more happy to stay in. And I've taken the big groups of people that I had, I think like everybody, and I brought the closest ones closer and pushed some of the other ones away. And I think we all needed to do that. I think it was just a reassessment of life.
Yeah, I think so too, Yes. And well, my channel is about happiness. It's about food. It's about cuisine, about wine. So,
amazing.
So tell me.
So then we're going to go back into the gratitude.
Yes, talking about gratitude. Yeah. Tell me, what is your favorite restaurant in California, or your favorite wine?
My favorite restaurant is Craig's. Big shout out to Craig's.
Yay!
Los Angeles. Love it, love the food. They have great vegan options. Even though I'm not vegan, I've loved their vegan options, as well as just their Italian food. I think it's the best. And wine, I'm a little strange. I like sweeter wines. I know most people love these very, very, very dry wines, and I don't. So my range in wines is all over the place. I mean, you cocould give me a bottle of Josh and I'm happy,
Okay.
You can go to the cupcakes, or you can go, I don't know, but I tend to gravitate to the mid-range or sweeter instead of the very dry that most people like.
Okay, I just started liking wine, so now I'm all into it. I'm like learning about the flavors and the difference between that.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it before, but now that's what I'm doing the channel, because I want to get into the flavors of these different wines.
Yeah. Do you like all wine? Do you like them even if they're very dry?
I just started drinking different type of wines. I went on a tour to Napa Valley, and I like the Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc. So since we make films, and
yes,
what would you advise people that want to make a film?
everybody needs to know that it can take years to make a movie.
Yeah.
So find a story that you're passionate about. And that's the problem. Some people just try to jump on all these different movies. They have no passion for them. So they're prepared to give it up at any point and just move right to the next one. You know, when I took the movie Traffic that got 4 Academy Awards, nobody wanted it. I mean, that movie had been out there for well over 7 years before, you know, I came along and ultimately got it financed. You know, so... And the same goes for like Forrest Gump and some of these other great movies that you hear these stories that sometimes it was like 11 years or more. But whoever was behind those movies was incredibly passionate about telling them. And at some point, the cycle will come that it will be your time to make that movie. And so you just have to be able to stick with it, to be able to tell that story, to want to tell that story, and be passionate about convincing others to be a part of it. So, you know, again, if I have a screenplay and you're the actress, I have to convince you of why you need to be in that movie. Same thing with the director, same thing with my DP, same thing with my crew. And then you have to be prepared to live it. Once that movie gets greenlit, you still have another 1.5 to 2 years before you're ever going to be off of it. You are going to be, you know, you're going to live and breathe it. So you better love it. It's your baby.
It's the baby. It's just like becoming a mom for a film.
Yep, each time.
Oh, wow. Cindy, thank you so much. You're amazing. I am following you, and thank you for sharing your story with me. And
yeah, absolutely.
So,
anything you want. Let's talk happy. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful to have met people like you. I get goosebumps, really.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, because you are such a powerful woman, and
thank you.
You are so grateful and nice to say yes to my interview.
Yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
I want to share your knowledge with the people that knows me, and I'm going to share your story here.
And on the flip side, I'm grateful that someone like you takes time and says you want to speak to me. I mean, I find that every single person you speak to brings something into your life at a different time, and we all have to be grateful for moments like these. You know, because we never know, especially what COVID has taught us, when they might be taken away. So a moment like this takes us out of our environment for a little bit and lets me transport to your house, takes you to my house, lets us connect and smile and laugh and have a moment. And, you know, moments are what we've got now.
Yes.
They're so important. They really are. Moments to smile about.
Yes, and I think I owe you a bottle of wine. A sweet one. And I'm gonna make sure that I tell everyone to follow you and all your social platforms. I know that you're Cindy Cowan 1000.
Instagram 1000. Facebook is just my name.
Okay.
And LinkedIn is just my name. So yeah, it's all of that. And happy to share knowledge or moments or anything with anybody. And pleasure. I wish I could have met you in person. I'm still being COVID safe. So
we have to follow that.
I'm still like doing a Zoom away. You know.
Well, I'm looking forward to see you in person. And
me too.
Thank you. I love you.
You too. Thank you very much for having me on your show. Hope it does great.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be covering food, culture, wine, and I'll be interviewing interesting people from various industries.